All right, I'm on hole number 6 of the Extreme Hills tournament in Wednesday's qualifying round in the rookie division. Trying to put it all together today. So today, if you watched all of the videos for this round up to this point, and you watched my practice round on Monday, and you watched my rounds, and you're thinking, like, especially if you're a new viewer and you haven't watched my channel before, and you're like, this guy blows. This is my MO. I start the week off. I'm practicing. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the shots. I don't watch everybody else's content so that all I'm doing is regurgitating their stuff. What I try and do is I'm trying to go out there and figure it out for myself and see what's possible and try and learn how to do it with my clubs. And that's what I'm trying to help you guys learn how to do is I'm trying to show you the process. Because a lot of people that shoot content, what they do is they shoot 8 accounts before they ever post any video. And they get all the numbers down. And then when you see them play their first time they play on Monday or Tuesday, they have all these numbers and you're like, wow, these guys are they played 8 rounds to get those numbers. And you never get to see the process that they go through to get to that point. And today is the culmination of me playing 2 rounds on Monday, 2 practice rounds on Monday, and then playing my practice account on Tuesday. And normally I would have played this account on Tuesday as well, but and so that I'm trying to develop my notes for the opening round, and so today I have notes based off of everything I've done so far this week. And so I'm going through those notes, and now what I'm really looking at is I know what club, I know what ball, I know where I want to be, I know what secondary club I'm going to use, and now today I'm trying to put it all together so that I can hit perfects into the cup, so that I can start working on elevations to see if my elevation numbers are right. And then in the opening round is where I really focus on elevation numbers, because I want to come in with a really good, strong, I want the minimum score no matter what. And I'm trying to work on picking up those shots. And I really want it to peak in the weekend round where it all falls together in the weekend round. And I got all of my numbers and everything goes good, especially on the back 9 in the weekend round. And so today we're doing pretty good so far. Hole number 6. Hole number 6 is going to be Eagle Peak. Hole number 9. And so I'm a grinder. That's the whole deal on these tournaments is I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to I'm just trying to figure out how to play them with my clubs, and I'm just trying to help you guys figure out how to play them with your clubs, and I'm trying to show you the process. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm bringing a rock, and you can do this with a QB, and I'm bringing a rock, and I'm going to this spot right down here. Now, here's where I'm having some difficulty. Is I'm getting into the spot right down here, and the shot coming in, what I'm trying to do is here's the flagpole. I'm trying to go up the hill and then back down to the hole. And I'm having a hard time getting my tail to engage so that I can try and get the run up to it. And I don't really think of this as a funnel. A lot of people call this a funnel, but I don't really think of it as a funnel. A funnel is where the terrain on a green is going like this, and the terrain on the green is going like this. And there's actually a lane down here so that if you hit a little bit high, it wants to push it down into the trough, and then it rides that trough and goes to the hole. There's a lot of par 3s in this game that have been redesigned from the original design because they had exactly this. You could hit up here, and if your speed was right, it would drop down into the trough and it would funnel right up to the cup. And you could get hole-in-ones. The hole-in-ones were easier on some holes. And then they changed it so that the green now is on a mound. And so this trough doesn't lead up to it. This thing about running your tail up and then pulling your tail back down and following your tail back down, I don't personally think of that as a funnel. It's almost, there was a couple holes when the game first started that we used to do this, and they were trick shots where, like, instead of just putting it into the hole, we would run the tail up and then come down and then run it back to the hole. What it is it's not so much, I suppose you could look at it as it's funneling you to the hole, but you're just following your ball guide because your ball guide is dropping you back down. So if you hit it perfect, what it'll tell you though when you're doing these types of shots is your elevation. So if you do, let's say you were doing a plus 10 and then you ended up over on this side right here and the wind was blowing this direction, you didn't pull out enough wind, so you go to plus 20, and then you're going to be able to get a really good read because of where your ball guide was going to the cup. You're going to get a really good read because it should go right to the cup if you make the right wind adjustment. So in a lot of cases, it makes it easier to make wind adjustments and these elevation adjustments because you can get a better read. But for some reason, occasionally I'll get this tail to work perfect, but not in all cases. So I'm just wondering on this hole if I should just go straight to the cup. and so that's what I'm gonna try just going straight to the cup. And I am doing a plus 10 on the drive and a plus 10 to the cup. Now here's the deal on my ball. I'm doing, okay, when I set this shot up, I'm doing a rock and a kingmaker. So I'm using my number 2 bag. My number 2 bag. I was out of the game for a minute, so it's deciding whether or not it wants to okay, come on. Yeah, it's going to time me out. So what I'm going to do is a rock and a kingmaker. And because the kingmaker hits 17 yards farther forward than a basic ball. So if you push it all the way to the red line, you'll see a plus 16. I'm going to be at plus 10. I'm going to do max backspin, and I'm going to do a 10% additional wind adjustment. The kingmaker. And off we go. See if we can get the Albie here. This has not been, I think up to the point where I started doing this lower shot, because I always used to hit to the left. And with my lower level account, I still hit to the left. I may have hit one Albie on the left-hand side. It wasn't a big percentage, a high percentage Albie shot. I've hit a couple Albies from the right-hand side, but it's still, I think I have a better shot at getting Albie from the right than I do from the left, but it's still a lower percentage shot. Okay, see where it says plus 16? I'm going to go max backspin, and I'm going to go to where it says plus 10. And I want to be dead center in the middle where I got my blue rings up on either side. And plus 9's fine. I'm going to do 10%, so that's going to be a 4-ring pool. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I turned off the notifications on that. And it's still giving me, isn't it perfect? Now that pisses me off. So I'm going to have to take that program off. It's putting me right down there. And I mean, I know that looks close, but, and it is close. It's almost too close for comfort. I'm gonna change that plus 10 to a plus 9. Because it's close. And what you don't want to do down there is end up in the rough. I mean, you want to be close, but I would rather be twice as far away from that rough every time than be in the rough even once. Because if you're in the rough down there, you're sunk. That's a layup shot. I'm not even using, I'm using 7 yards less than the max distance I'm getting with the ball that I'm bringing. And I'm using backspin on a drive. I'm not even trying to get all of the stuff in it. Man, they would have been so much luckier if that came right out of that sand. That's going to blow from there. Okay, it's 10% to the cup. 10 times 3.5, 3.9 rings. Be out here just a titch. Out here just a titch. So it's 3.9 rings. There's 1, 2, 3, 9. Try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if I can get in the cup. Get in the hole. Get in the hole, ball. Go home, ball. Just a bit outside. Just a bit outside. It wasn't quite enough of a pull, or I might have been off. I'll have to go back and look at my trajectory on that. I might have been slightly off the cup, or I might need to do a 15% wind adjustment instead of a 10. And I will tell you on the funnel, when I've tried to use that funnel or tried to follow my tail around and tried to do the trick shot like that, I've thought that I was right at the cup and I've been right off the cup. So it may be And I've been off the cup on the left-hand side, so I may not be pulling enough with the 10%. So I may need to up that to a 15. And I think I'm going to do that just so that I can see. I'm going to change it on my notes to a plus 15. I'm going to put was 10, just so that I can see whether or not. And my goal is to try and end up on the other side of the cup, because then I know I'm somewhere between 10 and 15 or whatever it happens to be. One of the cool things about using pen and paper and a calculator versus using the app is if you use Golf Clash Notebook or Golf Clash Caddy, you're at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. If I want to, I can go, hey, I've tried 10 and I've tried 15 and neither one of those are working. And one's put me on one side, the other's put me on the other side of the cup. I'm going to just do a 12 and a half, and I can plug it into my calculator and just do a 12 and a half, and I can get on the number. So I can pick any number I want. It doesn't seem like, if you think about the difference between 10 and 15, you think there is no difference between 10 and 15. There's no difference when you're, oh, dude, come on, man. That ruins your whole tournament there. Come on, you still could have got a birdie. So if you think about, and I'm going to draw this out real quick just because I want to finish that thought process. Here's where you're teeing off, and here's your target. We're using a wood, so that wood hits 170 yards. So here's the first bounce, and then we're running it forward. I was putting topspin on it, so I'm actually running farther than 170. And I think the 170 is more. I'm not sure if the 170 is where you're tailed off if you have no topspin, or 170 is like where you're hitting right here. Close. So 5% down here, like when you think about like rings, if you had a 1 ring pull and you did a 10%, that's 1.1, and you did a 5%, a 15%, that's 1.15, and you think to yourself, that is nothing. 1.15 is nothing down here. But in this distance, 170 yards in front of you, a 1 degree pull is like this. It's a pull. And half of that is a pull. So like down here where you're adjusting your rings, it seems like it's minute, but that's at the beginning spot. The angle change that you get down here where you're actually hitting is huge. So I mean, a 0.5%, a 0.05 wind adjustment can be huge down here on the end. And so I know it doesn't seem like it's like that big of a deal. It's like, what's the difference between plus 10 or plus 15? It's not that big of a difference. It can be huge. And that's why I'm saying sometimes I find that I try a 10% adjustment and I'm off on this side of the cup, and I do a 15% and I'm off on this side of the cup. And I mean, I just barely missed it on this side with a 10. So I tried a 15 and I just barely missed it on this side with a 15. So by using pen and paper, I can go, screw it, I'm just going to do a 0.125. And I can split the difference, and that puts me right in the middle of the hole. That's one of the benefits of using pen and paper, if you know how to use a wind ring method. All right, that was hole number 6, Extreme Hills qualifying round, Wednesday's qualifying round, rookie division. Thanks for watching.